Greetings, my fellow Americans. My name is A.J. Wildman, and I'm very happy and proud to be an American citizen. You'll also find that I'm a hardcore political independent, which means I generally make fun of both parties, and there's plenty of ammunition for that every day, isn't there? I founded the American Peasant Party some years ago as a little bit of an independent political entity, and I have developed, along with that, a rather comprehensive political platform that addresses many of our economic and social issues, and I've devised some in recent couple years now to address our cost of living, and we'll get to that in the next video. So for right now, let's just acknowledge that we're going to forget about the presidential campaign right now, that embarrassing presidential campaign we've been having forever and must endure 2 more months. But I will use the presidency to introduce the main topic of this presentation, which is what is our #1 problem in this country and how are we going to deal with it immediately? Okay, because presidents come and go every 4 to 8 years, and some are better than others, for sure. Okay, however, in Washington, D.C., the Congress and their membership hangs around for years, even decades, okay? And they just hang around too long. And it is technically their job to fix our common problems that cannot be solved at either the state or local level. That is their job description. And in the last few decades, they've dumped that more and more on an incoming president who's only here for a few years. So they basically wash their hands of their own jobs, okay? You know, simple things like they could take a look at the heroin crisis, okay? So now when you look at it, the Congress has a 97%, I should say a 90% disapproval rating with the people, and it's fair to say that we're pretty much fed up with that do-nothing Congress. So based on that, I declare the current 535 members of the U.S. Congress to be the public's #1 problem, okay? And today I bring for your consideration the practical plan and solution for removing that #1 problem, okay? First, I'll walk simply through the steps and then provide a little bit more background for this show. It's really very simple. First thing we do is if you're not registered to vote, you need to get out and register to vote. Democrat, Republican, Independent, it doesn't matter. We need a huge turnout this time to let them know how serious we are about making these changes, okay? So you can still register for this election in every state in the country and D.C. all the way through September into sometime in October. I recommend rockthevote.org to go out there and look up your state and see when your cutoff is, and then get yourself and anybody you can take usually to motor vehicles, and get registered. Okay, it will work. Then, come November 9th, or actually in between now and the election, you're going to hear a lot more about this process, why we're doing it, why it's going to be successful, and you'll learn a whole lot more about the platform, which is really, basically, why do I want you to go out there and vote like this? What is in it for you and your family? Well, you'll find out between now and November. Then on that day, we get up, we go to the polls, and we vote them out. Every incumbent. Democrats will vote out Democrats, Republicans will vote out Republicans. It'll just be history in the making. And the old Congress will be history, okay? The newly elected members of Congress, most of whom never expected to be elected, okay, against a bunch of incumbents, will be very interested in taking care of the voters and what we want them to do. Fortunately, I have a written, detailed public platform that is full of solutions to many of our economic and social issues, and we will also start moving into some of the climate issues too, which is just about the most critical thing we have to deal with. Of course, the Congress isn't doing with that. And again, that platform is on the internet for public review and download. Okay. And that's pretty much as simple as it gets. That day and that evening we'll have a great celebration and party and celebrate the passing of the old Congress and the birth of the new one. Okay. We will have replaced 435 members of the House and 34 of 100 members of the Senate. Today, as we know, the Congress is obviously under the control of lobbyists for the wealthy and certain big industries. They just do whatever they want to do. And those industries include, at the head of the list, healthcare insurance, oil, coal, natural gas, pharmaceutical, banking, and not to be forgotten, defense industry. Therefore, we must be rid of them. Their replacements will have a clear written description of our legislative expectations, which we expect to have in work the first 6 months of 2017. Okay, so yes, my fellow Americans, I am asking you to conduct a second American Revolution on November 8th, 2016, to be united in our votes to remove our currently oppressive government from our backs. And all that each of us needs to do on that day is just go and vote in order to make this electoral revolution victorious in 24 hours. Just cast your votes against the incumbents in Congress. Then we will all have a new Congress that is interested in solving our problems, and an independent legislative platform designed to solve many of them. So on that single election day, Americans will vote to determine our future, and we'll have it under our control for a change. Because your vote really will count that election day, so please go vote. Okay? A one-day main event that will change America and the world forever and for the better. Okay? Okay? And to be clear, my fellow Americans, no one and nothing can prevent us from doing what I have just laid out for you to consider. So that is all for this show. I hope you have found it informative and at least somewhat encouraging. The next CS2 News Report will focus on a set of proposals aimed at controlling the cost of living. Thank you and take care.